Hi there. I have a couple other videos, but I'll just do my introduction on this one. So, hi, my name's Blake. A little bit about me. I hold a PhD in integrated composition, improvisation, and technology from the University of California, Irvine, and I've been working as a live and studio recording engineer for about the past 10 years. I do electronic and acoustic music composition as well as a bit of songwriting, and I play the violin, guitar, and piano. But today I want to focus mainly on one of the questions from the 2022 AP Music Theory exam. This question involves some part writing. And so in about 5 or 6 minutes, I'm going to try to just work through the problem. And of course, I would be working with a student. I would be letting them work through the problem on a more interactive platform than Sibelius. I've had success with working with students one-on-one where they're allowed to sort of control, put in notes, and then I can interact with them as well. And so today I'm just going to be looking at that. Let's go ahead and open Sibelius and look at our question. So always important to read the question. Write the following progression in four voices following 18th century voice leading procedures. Continue logically from the spacing of the first chord. Do not add embellishments unless indicated by the Roman and Arabic numerals. Use only quarter and half notes. About 10 minutes suggested. So let's see if we can rock this out, and I will try my best to explain every decision I'm making, which is kind of advice I would be giving to the student as they would be working through this sort of problem. So we are in E minor. It would be good. It's good to double check, right? So we have one sharp, that sharp. The last sharp in our key signature is always going to be the leading tone in the major key. So we're in G major or E minor here. And of course, if we look at our one chord, we have an E in the bass. We're in root position, very likely in E minor, though we might not end there. Who knows? So let's just go ahead and put in our bass line because they've given us our chords here. So we have a 5-6-5 chord. That's going to be our 5-7 chord in first inversion. The third of the chord is going to be in the bass. That means we have the seventh scale degree. And because we're in minor, we got to make sure we remember to raise that leading tone. So we have D sharp there in the bass, moving back to one, pretty straightforward. Then we have a tricky chord. We got a 5-4-2-4. Okay, so this is going to be the 5 chord in the key of our fourth scale degree. So we're in E minor. Our fourth scale degree is going to be A, and the 5 chord in A is going to be E major. So we're going to want to raise that G sharp wherever we put it. But in this case, we have 4-2, which is our third inversion. So we're going to want to put the seventh of the chord in the bass, the seventh being D natural, if we have an E major dominant seventh chord. Then we're moving to our 4-6 chord. 4 in this case is going to be, of course, A, but we have first inversion triad. So we're going to want to put that C in the bass. And then we're moving to a 2-6-5 chord. 2 is going to be F sharp in E minor. And we're going to have, again, the third of the chord in the bass. In this case, the A. Scale degree 4 in the bass. And finally, we're going to move to scale degree 5 in the bass in that root position 5. Let's make that a half note. All right, so the next step we're going to want to do is write in some of our soprano line. One of the important things when dealing with voice leading is that we are not writing chord by chord. So we want to write, 1 or 2 bars of our soprano line, then go back, put in some inner voices, check our voice leading, make sure that we're doing everything okay. So let's see, what notes are we missing from our 5-6-5 chord? Well, we have a B, that would be the root of the chord. There's the third of the chord, and then we have F sharp and A. So because we have a G here in the soprano, I'm going to say F sharp or A is going to be the best. If we wrote F sharp, that's not really going to be an issue because it would be thirds with the bass, but I like going contrary with the soprano to the bass. So let's go ahead and put that A in the soprano. Now, of course, A is the seventh of our 5-6-5 chord, so that has to go back down to G. So that makes things easier for us. And then going into our 5-4-2-5, remembering we have E, we have G sharp, and we have B. Well, we already have a G natural there in the soprano. Let's just go ahead and rack that into a G sharp. And then because this is a secondary dominant, and that's the third of the chord that's acting as a leading tone in the key of A, we need to make sure we resolve that up to A. So again, some of these rules doing the work for us. Then let's look, okay, our 2-6-5 chords. So we're missing F sharp, we're missing our C, and we're missing our E. Okay, that's a little tricky because we don't actually know where we're going to want to go. So let's go back and do our inner voices. All right, so going back to our 5-6-5 chord, we have our A in the soprano. We want a full chord, so we need a B and we need an F sharp. We got B there in the tenor already, so let's just keep that common tone. Always great to do that. And then we're gonna have our F sharp. Let's make sure we're in our second voice. We're gonna have our F sharp there in our alto. And then, well, we're going back to one. Why not just move back to the chord as it was voiced before? Allows us to keep this common tone there. So far, here's what we have. Sounds great so far. All right, going to our 5-4-2 of 4. We've put the G sharp there. Remember, that's an E major 7 chord, so we're missing our E and we have a B. Let's just keep the common tone. I mean, not the most fun line for our tenors, but that's what we want our inner voices to do. We want them to move as little as possible. And again, we're missing the E, so let's just keep the E there. Very nice. All right, so we're going to 4-6. So we need our root, which is going to be the A, and we need our fifth, which is going to be the E. Let's keep the E there. And then, well, we have a choice of what to double. Do we want to double the root? We already have the root there in the soprano, or we can double our third, and we don't really know if it's going to matter yet. Let's just double the root and see if that causes any problems for us. And again, this is all oblique motion for the most part and contrary there, so that's going to be fine. Contrary, we have parallel 6 there, which is fine. So just double checking our voice leading as we go. Let's give it a listen. So what are we missing here? We have we need the root, our F sharp. We need the fifth, which is C, and we need the seventh, which is going to be our E. Not if it was a fully diminished chord, we have E flat, but we're not altering that there. So let's see. We have we don't really have any common tones. If we had the C there, we could do that, but we don't. So let's go up to the C in our soprano, and just because I can kind of hear it in my head, da da da. Let's go down to B there, right? So we're approaching our octave from contrary motion, that's 10th to an octave. We won't run into any parallel octaves there. Then that leaves us, we have the E, so that leaves us with the F sharp and that's a C. So that leaves us with the F sharp and the E. Let's keep the E. And if we go down to the F sharp, is that going to cause any problems? Well, we have 6, so we have a bunch of parallel 6 there, which is fine. We probably don't want to do one more if we're doing counterpoint. Finally, we have our 5 chords. So we have B, D sharp. Again, remembering me to raise that, and F. So let's keep our common tone with our F there. And we can have this go down to our leading tone, the D sharp, of course. So that completes our assignment. Hopefully we're doing okay on time. I know you wanted a 3 to 5 minute video here, but we've gotten all our chords, I believe. We don't have, this is within an octave, so we're good there. Again, a lot of contrary motion between the bass and the soprano, which is great to see, and not a lot of motion in our inner voices. So let's give that a listen. And sounds good to me. So again, of course, this is a very quick working through that, but this is something that maybe would take 30 minutes or something with a student, depending on where they're at, just to work through really looking at all the different things that they need to take care of. So I hope that was a good look at some part writing and what a high school student would be expected to be doing on the AP Music Theory exam. And I mean, this would be the end of probably the first year of a music theory course in college. So there's a lot before this, obviously, but that was some part writing. So thanks again for your time, and I'll see you in the next video.